Hello, everybody. The name is Lyrah Jr., and I am here with Mr. D.A., Mr. Daniel Allan. How are you doing, man?
The lefty handshake, baby.
Oh, you're a lefty.
A rare one.
I'm
a lefty. This is beautiful.
Okay.
I want to stay right here.
I'm glad. I am so glad. I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable in that. But again,
so comfortable.
We are here for a second time so far at NYC and elsewhere. First time you were here was your first ever, I think, like full-on Daniel Allan tour. And it was up on the rooftop. That was in the month of May.
So I did one before that. My first one ever was in Elsewhere Zone 1. And then the Elsewhere rooftop I played like 5 or 6 months ago. That's what's really cool about tonight is it's like the final boss of Elsewhere.
Exactly, because usually in Elsewhere, the tier when it comes to Elsewhere is pretty much just like, the smaller artists, they would be in Zone 1, they would get some attention there. Then if you're lucky, move on to the rooftop where you goes outside and you got a bigger crowd. But Hall is usually where you have your headliners, you have your big people being here on the stage, and we are all here for the 360 set tonight. I'm just curious to know, what is it about NYC that makes you keep coming back? Because it seems like if we look through the whole history of Daniel Allan and you coming out to the USA, it seems like you've been coming to NYC time and time again. What is it about NYC that keeps you coming back?
Bro, I love it here so much. It's just like one of the most infectious energies of a place. I actually have a rule that every time I come to New York, I have to already have my flight back booked before I come here, because otherwise I'm just gonna stay forever. Also, New York is the only place. So when I moved to LA,
in 2020.
In 2020, yeah. When I moved, damn, you know your shit. When I moved to LA 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago, I felt very enamored by it. You know what I mean? It was I grew up in Kentucky, so it was a very, even the hills were cool to me. Everything about it was just so new.
Right.
And obviously, since living there, I have a very different relationship with it now, where I love it for so many reasons. So many of my friends are there. It's that kind of I'm so stunned by it. Maybe isn't there as much, and I still feel that way about New York every time I'm here. Mm-hmm. And so I'm I hold that very sacred and very near and dear to me. I never want that to go away. Every time, when I got in here today and we're just driving on the Brooklyn Bridge, I still think it's so beautiful, and I still it's still such a special thing to me. So I just love it here, man.
That is amazing to hear, and I'm just curious to know because the history. Because I feel like what really stands you out in the EDM spectrum is that this is someone who has mostly been independent and putting stuff out to show people that you don't really have to have a label or have to have a full-blown professional team to achieve your dreams and do what you want to do. You can just have a couple good friends, a good crew, a few ride or dies pretty much that will be there and sees your vision, sees your dream, and wants to help you achieve said dream to get to where you are now. I feel is that kind of so important to be your own free bird, not really chained by any contracts or labels. It's just you being you, and that's pretty much how you want to roll in your career.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm just really lucky in a lot of ways that I have people around me that really care, a lot of my friends in music that I work with even to this day are still my friends from years ago, I think being independent is a really big part of my career. It's a really big part of my story. It's also just a big part of my life and kind of how I grew up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that I'm also just really lucky that I get to do it because I have so many friends around me. So it's as much as it's I am pretty independent as a person and as an artist, it's also, hey Ronnie, I love you.
Well, we're saying we love you, Ronnie.
I'm saying you're in the shot.
You're in the shot. But yeah, okay. Ronnie, you're amazing too. We appreciate you.
I love you.
But you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying no, I don't. No. But I was saying as much as I've enjoyed being independent, I definitely don't want it to be overshadowed by how lucky I am to have close people around me. You know
right.
what I mean?
Understood. And I would say I feel the whole having best friends, having type of energy, supporting the people. We kind of start saying day ones now. those people, it seems like it's very like intricate and very important in a lot of your sets, particularly your Lollapalooza set, and including your EDC set where you brought your friend Andrew to press the play button on your very last song, which is your Zed's Clarity and I Need You mashup.
Wow.
I feel like it was like really, you wouldn't let anyone else do something like that except your best friend, so it seems.
Wow, yeah, you did your homework. That's so impressive. Wow, you're good at this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I grew up in like kind of a small town. You know what I mean?
Where electronic music wasn't really that big.
So you know this, yeah. And I feel it's like obviously like as DJs and artists, like we get the opportunity to bring out other artists, which I think is really cool. And then your like both fan bases can have a really good time if you bring out one of your favorite artists. But I thought it was kind of special to bring out someone that like was not in music at all. That was just like a childhood person for me, because like I think that like part of like doing music too is like, especially when you're like a kid and you're like in your bedroom and like trying to figure out how to make songs for the first time, most of the times like you're not really doing it alone. Like you have like maybe 2 or 3 people that you have a group chat with, like in your local town, that you're like trying to figure it out with, you know?
But still, you're
like,
mostly self-taught in your journey.
Fully self-taught, right? But it's like, but at the same time, like, you know, Andrew ended up doing so many, like he ended up living a very different life, you know what I mean? But I just remember when we were 14-year-old kids, that was like a dream that we both had together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we were learning how to produce like in my kitchen, you know?
Was he there with you all those years ago, almost 10 years ago in Lollapalooza when you were seeing the Chainsmokers?
Oh yeah, we were front row together.
You guys were front row together.
He's literally like my arms around him, like, you know, it's like the most like classic EDM story, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, he was there with me, and so like, I don't know, I feel like as much as like for EDC that was my goal, it was very much ours, you know what I mean? And just because I pursued it doesn't mean that he like can't live it out too.
Right, he wasn't a part of it. He wasn't an integral part of it. He was. So first off, of course, shout out Andrew. We sincerely appreciate you being there
Shout out
and
to
being
Andrew,
like his being Daniel's right hand man. I'm just curious to know as well, as time went on, you started creating more of your own original music. Which, you know what? I'll go here then, because you stated in your story that it was 2021 where you started making a lot more of your original music every minute of every day after you moved to LA. But what happened in 2017 when you made your very first remix of VALENTIN Can't Let Go? That was in 2017.
That is insane, bro. You're nardwarding this, man. That is crazy. I mean, bro, it's like
at first I thought it was like, oh, it all began in 2021. You were starting making original music, but no, you were still trying to make a few tunes here and there even before then.
For sure. I mean, dude, it's so funny. That's like, I feel like everyone's story in dance music is like, a lot of people start to realize, or they start to discover you after you've already been doing it for a while. You know what I mean? And so like, yeah, dude, 2017, I'm a SoundCloud kid. You know what I mean? Like I'm in my parents' basement. You know, I started getting on SoundCloud, like EDM SoundCloud pages, and like finding other artists that I like. And I found VALENTIN, who we actually reconnected recently. He came to my house and we made a song together.
Nice.
But he was like one of the first people that, like, again, from being from Kentucky, I didn't really have access to like high quality vocals or anything like that. Also, I didn't know how to record them either, but I didn't have any access to them.
Right.
And so like the cool thing about the SoundCloud era, like the height of it obviously, was like that you could bootleg stuff and you could remix stuff. And for me, like Val just being down to like send me like super high quality vocals was something that I was not used to at all. And that fully got me way like in the deep end on remixing songs. So that was definitely, I think that was the first remix I ever did, I want to say. Yeah.
Right, that we first see on SoundCloud. And can we say it was thanks to VALENTIN? Am I saying the name properly? VALENTIN? VALENTIN.
Yeah.
If you say it was thanks to VALENTIN, that kind of like maybe left the stepping stones, maybe like left the groundwork for you to create the song that kind of propelled you to the masses, I Need You with Lyrah, because I feel like maybe you were learning about how to do vocal work in that regard. Even though it took you 50 minutes to make, you had someone who was pretty good in vocals and just like made the song come together, and to put that out, just seeing what happens, and for it to skyrocket to where it is now. I mean, hello, our car company used the song Buick. We love you, Buick. Why don't you give that man sponsorship? I don't know why. How did it feel, man, to work with someone as credible as Lyrah and make this really huge song, over 10 million streams.
Bro, she's amazing. I love Lyrah so much. She is a really big part of why that song is big, because she, like you were talking about earlier, it was just like me and an iPhone. She was doing a lot of the same stuff too. So she was like where you were saying
it was
like,
recorded on the iPhone?
Well, no, where you were saying that it was like very like bootstrapped, independent, like it was just me like shooting stuff.
Right.
Cooper shooting
and we're shooting the interview
song.
right here. We love you, Coop. He's gonna be closing out tonight. Make sure you follow him.
Like I think in the same way that we were like I was just very independently shooting videos on my iPhone at the time to promote that song, and like we didn't do it with a label. Lyrah was doing the same thing too, so she was a really big part of why that song did well. So I want to make sure she gets the proper credit there.
Right. And we gave her credit time and time again. How many times has she sang with you on live on stage?
I know, like dude, she's incredible. She's incredible. But yeah, man. I mean, she is just someone that I just got really lucky creatively to find someone that, like, our first time working together, we just bonded over being like massive Deadmau5 fans when we were kids. You know what I mean? And like
Ghosts and stuff.
Yeah,
4
like
by
I
4
remember,
equals 16.
like yeah, of course, like we were just like, oh, like what's your favorite song? We both said the same thing, and like it's I'm just really lucky to like be able to work with someone that thinks about music in such a similar way to me, you know, but also like very much doing her own thing. And I think the thing I really love about Lyrah too is like she very much has her own artist project. You know what I mean? Like she's not only just like singing on songs for DJs. Like she has very much her, like she just put out an EP. I worked on it, and it's like very much her thing. You know, and I think that's awesome. But yeah, she's the best, man. That song changed my life. It's like I still think I'm still like so touched every time like I play it, because I was just talking to my brother about this. It's kind of crazy. Like there's so many lenses through which people have viewed that record. You know what I mean? Like I bet someone has had like
I've heard it, used on TikTok and all that stuff.
Think about their life. Like I bet people like someone might have had their like first kiss to that song. You know what I mean? That's cool. Like people like have experiences that I don't even know about with that record. So I think that's like my favorite part of it all.
That's amazing. Now I'm curious to know as well, not just that song. Of course, there's a lot more incredible works from you, which is of course your EPs. I'm just curious to know, what EP like really means like the most to you? Like, was it the Glass House EP, the Duality EP, or was it the Criteria EP with your friend Rio Cragun?
Damn, bro. I feel like the boring answer is they're all like I don't have any kids, but I'd imagine that's what like having kids is like, is like you can't really pick a favorite. I think every single thing I've ever worked on is a really interesting snapshot of where I was at in my life. So it's hard to say like which one is better than the other. All three of those projects are wildly different. Like Glass House was a lot more like alternative leaning, like in a lot of ways.
And for the NFTs.
Yeah. And then Criteria was basically a rap record, because that's what I was interested in at the time. And then I just started taking off, and I pivoted way more into like what I was originally into, which was dance music. So it's honestly like they all just capture like very specific points in my life. But that's what I think is sick about projects, you know, like especially with like how the internet is these days. Like everything is about like 8-second snippets, and don't get me wrong, like I've benefited off that 8-second snippet, you know. But I still think that it's like there's something really beautiful about creating projects. So like the album, mixtape, whatever, EP, like it's such an interesting way to document like a snapshot of your life, you know? And so it's hard for me to pick one, but I just like the idea of doing it.
Understood. They were all different chapters of your life, of your musical career, and they all led you to where you are right now. Now, Ronnie's kind of like giving us the side eye, means we gotta wrap up, so I'll end this with this. I'm about to say the last question, which is this. After tonight and after Miami, which is December 5th, it's gonna happen tomorrow, what'll be next for Daniel Allan?
I'm playing like my biggest like full like headline show in LA, December 19th, at the El Rey Theater. And then the best part of being an artist is January and February, there aren't that many shows going on, so I get to kind of just finish all my songs. And to be honest, like as much as I love touring, as much as I love the energy of it all, at heart I like sitting by myself in a room working on songs. And so I would say like what I'm most excited about after these shows that finish out the year is going to be sitting and making songs and kind of being more of a kid, you know?
That I can hardly wait to see what's going to be cooking. And hey, again, that's where it all kind of began for you. Like, it started off in the bedroom as kind of like your, your comfort mode, but it helps, bring the ideas out for these brand new songs. I can hardly wait to see what's gonna come out next, and I can hardly wait to see the reaction of what we're about to witness tonight in Elsewhere Hall, the final boss stage of Elsewhere. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Thanks so much, Ronnie. Thanks so much for the whole team for being there for him ever since he began. And I all I can say is just from what I saw at that little warehouse with 100 people there, I already saw and see the energy, the power, the beauty that is in Daniel Allan, and to see it come in this stage, in this form, in Elsewhere, my second home away from home, is going to be something to behold, something to witness. I can hardly freaking wait. We gotta make sure you're ready for that. Thank you so much for watching and listening. This is Level Jr., Daniel Allan, signing out. Love you guys so much. Peace.
We gotta sample this guy. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Thank you. Thank you so